Welcome back to my goddamn motherfucking channel.
I can do this all day.
Today we got a new vid from I'm Kevin, and it's called Yuta Has Something to Prove. Yes, I'm reacting to this shit. You don't like it? Get the fuck out. Hold on. Let me show you. I'm gonna show y'all why I'm not playing.
Where did you get this?
See this shit? I'm not playing with you niggas. So without further ado, let's just jump to that shit. Right, like jumping in the pussy. Pause. Let me stop.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're back with some JJK. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I haven't been keeping up with JJK at all after the Maki episode. I was fulfilled. I was satisfied. I saw my goat put in work and felt a weight lifted off my shoulders. After that episode, I walked outside and just took in nature. I listened to the birds chirping, the wind blowing, ran through a field of flowers. I felt as if my job was complete. I did what needed to be done. What more is there for me to do? Where's JJK, Kev? Huh? Kev, with JJK soon? Kev, we need more JJK. When JJK, dog? We thought it was gonna be weekly. Where JJK at? You better do some JJK. Where the JJK at, anything Kev? But JJK. Bro, where's JJK? Bro, you gotta drop JJK. Kevin, where the fuck is JJK? When are we getting another JJK video for the JJK vid? JJK episodes when? Alright, fine. By the way, y'all just go ahead and follow the IG and just spam me with some shit to watch. But send me a clip. Don't just send me the name. Send me a clip with this so I know what I'm looking at. Anyways, so after the Zenin massacre, we cut to Yaga. The moment Gojo got sealed, the higher ups got to doing anything. Oh, Gojo gone? Kill his mans. I never liked him. Oh, and his student? Kill him too. Like, they started acting irregular. Like, for Yaga, they put the blame on him for Geto turning out the way he did. That is the most unfair shit ever. They also want him gone because his technique is creating cursed corpses. Now, from the name alone, you think it would be some crazy ability. You would think he had an underground layer filled with straight demons, straight death corpses, creatures that want only violence. But when you actually look at what he's making, the guy is making straight gumdrops and lollipops. Off first glance, you wouldn't even know these are cursed corpses. You would think he went to Build-A-Bear and got this shit. They made up some excuse like, what if he decides to make a giant army and take over? Granted, an army of 500 pandas would be terrifying. But come on, bro. He used his free time to help parents see their children again. Wasn't a single ill intention in his heart, but they still felt the need to kill him. Rest in peace, man. So afterwards, we see Yuji and Megumi trying to get to Hikari, who currently runs some type of fight club. So the plan was to blend in. Hikari already doesn't like his Jujutsu High folks, so we gotta act like we belong. Yuji was the one who was gonna fight, and if you put on a good enough show, you'll be allowed to meet the boss, aka Hikari. Now, I'm not gonna break down his fight, because his opponent ended up being Panda. They're both here trying to find Hikari, but I will say, Mappa had no reason to go as hard as they did for this goofy ass fight. One thing about JJK is that the hand-to-hand fights, they know what they doing. Also, since when was Megumi able to hide in shadows? Now keep in mind, season 1 is a complete blur to me. If he did that back then, I don't remember. Anyways, Yuji defeats Panda and was granted a meeting with Hikari. And Yuji's whole thing was supposed to blend in, right? So tell me why. Hikari gonna mention Gojo and this dumbass gonna say,
yeah, who's Gojo?
What?
Nigga, Gojo gets glazed by every single sorcerer on the face of the planet. What do you mean, who's Gojo? And I don't even know what he's trying to hit Yuji with. Doors? And look at that knee, my goodness. Knees buckled, connected straight to the jaw, almost gave him whiplash. But it cuts back to Megumi, and this dude is jumping through shadows, taking people out one by one. He really has the facilities to be a true threat. Y'all Megumi haters can stay over there, away from me. I'm 90% sure he's gonna get outshined by half the cast, but he's good in my book. sucks. But him and Panda make it to the roof, but uh-oh, Kiara's there. Megami immediately sends his hound, claws sharpened, jaw ready to clamp down. I thought we was trying to make an ally, not an enemy for life. What if her power didn't activate here and your dog just annihilated her? Hikari would have walked outside to his girl in pieces. So she marks them with her curse technique, and that stops them from getting close to her. And look at that pure demon standing next to Megami. That is what Akamaru looks like standing next to Kiba. So they try to explain how Tokyo is in utter shambles. They're not trying to fight Hikari, they actually need his help. And how Gojo got sealed. All it took was that last part for her to immediately think they're lying. Gojo being sealed doesn't even sound real. And then Megami and Panda sat here and had a whole discussion trying to figure out how Kiara's powers worked. I don't know why she just stood there and allowed them to do that. I'd be over there yelling a whole bunch of nonsense in their ears, dancing all in your face. I'm going to annoy you to the point where you just leave. Scuba, scuba. Now imagine hearing that for an hour straight. They gonna have pure hatred for me by the end of this. Also, the reason Jujutsu High casted out Hikari and Kiara is because their techniques are too hard to understand.
Wow.
The higher-ups like simple things, like Nobra, hammer and nails, the occasional voodoo doll. It's pretty easy to understand. But Hikari and Kiara was the exact opposite, and to be honest, I'm with the higher-ups. Hearing the explanation of her technique for the first time, I felt like I needed to pull out a pen and paper and start taking notes.
So Kev, you gonna explain what it is?
No. Came to the wrong vid for that, buddy. The only thing I got from that is that when she marks something, it's impossible to get close to another marked object unless it follows the correct order. Anyways, Kiara finally decides to do something, so she marks the closest vehicle in her vicinity, making it automatically launch itself, smacking Panda. Megami then figured out that anything she marks has to be imbued with her cursed energy, so he found the path he has to take. Simply touching it would allow him to reach Kiara, not gonna lie. She kinda swaggy. She was throwing marked coins, pretty much speed boosting herself to block Megami. Though he throws a rabbit at Panda so he can throw it at the mark, and long story short, Megami outplayed her. He tells her, look, just hear us out. Now for this, Yuji wasn't looking for a fight. He was determined to stand his ground. No dodging, no fighting back until Hikari accepts him. Now I'm not gonna lie, I'm a Yuji hater through and through. That's what I stand by. But I would never be a liar. This was tough. Hikari's whole thing is having passion for something. So Yuji stood there and showed him, this is what I'm working for. Yeah, I'm a cog in a machine, but every cog has a function. Okay, Yuji, I rock with that. Bitch. So Hikari said like that. Let's make a deal.
The nigga said, bitch.
He'll help, but afterwards he wants to be a part of the revisions to the Jujutsu regulations, which is a bigger way of saying he wants his Fight Club to be legalized. But that's when this creature pops up, announcing that a new rule has been added to the Killing Games. Every participant's name, points, colony, number of rules added will be public information. And the one who made that rule is Hajime Kashimo. Never thought I'd see a day when someone was begging to fight Sukuna. This guy was like, oh man, it was so much better 400 years ago.
Where are you, Sukuna?
Huh? You're wishing for things you shouldn't be wishing for. So we see Kenjaku allowing people who are unfortunately within
Reality on a promise. It's the duty of the Sorcerer Supreme to protect Time Stone.
But why the hell would Strange
Like
give
a
it
wise man was saying, be careful what you wish for.
Strange, he gave it away. He gave it to Thanos.
That's all I just said.
Yes.
the Bear of the Killing Games get a chance to leave. Weirdly considerate of him, he's evil, but not a monster. The main thing to take away from this is what he tells the girl. He says, thank you for being friends with my son, and then shows a picture of Yuji on the screen.
I'm not gonna lie, I got spoiled on this. I already knew.
The lucky few who is somehow able to avoid JJK spoilers for this long is going crazy right now. I just know it. Anyways, the gang is going over the plan. It costs 100 points to add a new rule. However, you must kill to get points, and obviously that's what we're trying to avoid. So their plan is to hunt down anyone with 100 points and force them to add 2 rules. One of them being to make it possible to transfer points to another player, and the second one being to make it possible to spend enough points to lead a game. Oh, and by the way, there's gonna be reincarnated sorcerers from 1,000 years ago participating in the games. Hence why Kashimo mentioned Sukuna so casually. So Yuji and Megami walk in, but of course, they're teleported to random spots. They can't make it too easy for you now. Off the spawn, he gets attacked by some girl with a jet engine on her head. All those explosions, all
The jet bitch. That's what we call her, a jet bitch. Or a jet heifer.
that rigmarole just to get knocked out by a flying pipe. He one hand through that too, and by the end of this, I bet they're gonna say she somehow survived that fall. Her man then pulls up just to get done 10 times worse. Yuji grabbed his legs.
Yeah, that's a helicopter nigga. By the way, that's a helicopter nigga.
And dragged him down the side of a building. The back of his head connected with every single brick. That headache is gonna be insane. And look how
His CTE will go crazy too.
he slides between the blades. Yeah, aight. But ultimately, he beats him by just punching the top of his head really hard and then kicking him in the family jewels. This random kid pulls up
He can't have no kids.
afterwards. Apparently, he went to the same school as Yuji. But he tells us what we want to know, where Higuruma is at. He tells us he's in Ikebukuro. Meanwhile, Megumi ran into this lady who was trying to play the sweet, innocent act, but he gave not a single fuck. All he wanted to know is where Higuruma was at. And she agreed to tell him if he acted as her knight. Thing is though, she lied. She told him a whole different place than what Yuji was told. And this is when they fully introduce us to Higuruma. And he truly
That nigga is a judge.
was a good guy. He was a lawyer who would pick up cases that were essentially impossible.
Oh,
See,
yeah,
the Japanese government truly doesn't care whose life they ruin as long as they get the documents off their desk. A murder could happen right in front of you with your own two eyes. You see who did it and watch them run away, but when the police arrive, they'll arrest you and say you did it all because you were in the area. And that's what Higuruma was fighting against, trying to help those who were wrongfully accused. Like with this guy, he went on a flawless run. The judges couldn't say shit. He was cooking them. But you know what they'll do? They'll just appeal it tomorrow and say he's guilty. Brought no new evidence to prove why. They just said he was, and now he got sentenced to life. That right there, seeing how that man looked at him. Yesterday, he was crying tears of joy that someone even believed in him. And now he'll never see the light of day again. Is how Higuruma awakened his curse technique.
We're having a retrial.
We also got a flashback on how this dude knows Yuji. They were bullying some kid, and my goodness, Yuji pulled up and embarrassed them. Now, mind you, this kid was ready to bash Yuji's head in with a metal pipe. Imagine if Yuji was a regular person and you actually connected that. Brain damage for life. Yo,
Yeah, CTE.
bullies in anime be ready to throw their lives away. No thought went into your future at all. You wanted to catch a body and be jailed. Your entire family lineage for the next 6 centuries would have gotten sued to the ground. Now your moms hate you. Now your pops hate you. Now you can't find a job. Life ruined. But obviously Yuji handled that. Gripped him by his jaw, raised him in the air, feet dangling, slammed him down, made your homeboy do a front flip, and I assume he spared you. But he finally makes the Higuruma. Fully clothed, sitting in a bathtub. That's how you know he really lost it. I think most people hate just their socks getting a little he spared dangerously.
Oh, man. He didn't get that one scene that nigga Yuji just... The guy was running towards him. And the nigga flew. He Yuji punched him. And nigga flew like few feet in the air. I'm surprised he ain't said anything about that shit, man. Like he ain't mentioned that. Like he forgot that part, bro. Kevin, you forgot that part that the nigga got punched. Like he was running towards Yuji and the nigga just got bink. Like he was flying.
Yuji handled that. Gripped him by his jaw, raised him in the air, feet dangling, slammed him down, made your homeboy do a front flip, and I assume he spared you. But he finally makes the Higuruma. Fully clothed, sitting in a bathtub. That's how you know he really lost it. I think most people hate just their socks getting a little damp. This man is fully submerged, but he explains to him, yeah, we're trying to stop the Culling Games, or really, we're really just trying to stop the required killing. You know, pretty reasonable. Why?
Huh? What do you mean, why?
I see its potential. Walk with me now. Unlike the law, the Culling Games punishes its rule breakers.
What?
Yuji heard that shit and was like, alright bro,
We're gonna use your points one way or another.
Higuruma stands up and immediately pops his ult. popped his domain expansion instantly. Not a single punch was thrown. But his domain wasn't a guaranteed hit domain that everyone else has. His was based on a trial. The judge man brought up a time Yuji went into a casino when he wasn't 18. And what Yuji has to do is prove himself innocent. And that is what he did not do. He was guilty. The result of that was him unable to use curse energy. So for this entire fight, he's working off pure physical strength. Blocks the gavel, weaves a double swing, grabs his arm, Higuruma blocks his punch, smacks it out his hand, but all that did was give Higuruma sauce points. Proceeds to gonk his forehead through the gavel, Yuji throws it right back, and this nigga really just fixed his tie mid-scuffle. And not only that, rather than just catching it, the dude teleports it back to his hand like, alright bro, we get it. And can someone, the dude teleports it.
Look at this. Look at this nigga. Look at this nigga. Why he looking like?
Back to his hand like, alright bro, we get it. And can someone tell me why the narrator thought it was okay to read a full chapter of a novel book while the fight is going on? Niggas think we watching with a Sharingan. I can't keep up. But look at this double whammy. The kick to the gut, then flies into the edge of the stage, straight lower back pain. But he continues to dodge, even kick the gavel out his hand until he forcefully got sat down. Not gonna lie, Yuji is moving crazy right now. You telling me this is all just natural ability? Now pinned down, Yuji does figure out he can call for a second trial, to which Judge Man accuses him of the mass murder in Shibuya on the night of Halloween.
Yeah, I killed all of them. I'm not going to deny it.
And with confessing to something like that, the Judge Man called for the death penalty, which gives Higuruma a sword to where any little cut means death. Now listen, I know I'm the Yuji hate guy, which that would never change by the way, I'm too deep in. But to be honest, I don't hate Yuji at this current moment in time. Yeah, I know. I'm rocking with the way he is this season. And for the simple fact that he easily could have said, nah, that wasn't me, that was Sukuna. Would have gone away with it, but nah, he said it was me. The way Higuruma's domain works, he's given an envelope showing evidence of what actually happened. So he knew Yuji was innocent, hence why he stopped. He tells him afterwards, yeah, Sukuna took over, but I blame myself. I blame myself for being too weak to stop it. I respect that. And for that, I'll officially take you off the fraud watch list. Bitch. So Higuruma agrees
This nigga said bitch.
to create the rule allowing players to transfer points, and then he just leaves. He doesn't opt to join Yuji because it'll make him hate himself even more. He doesn't like who he's become. Before he came here, he killed the judge and the prosecutor, so after all this is done, he says he'll just turn himself in. Meanwhile, the place that girl was leading Megumi was obviously into a trap. This guy is Reggie. The reason he's wearing this nonsense is because he can materialize objects or
Nigga look like chicken.
services. So all that paper on his body is like Walmart receipts, Kroger's, Home Depot. He can spawn whatever was on that paper. He can even heal himself. Like if one of those receipts said a 5-day stay at a luxury hotel, his body would heal as if it relaxed for 5 days. So he tells Megumi that the coming games isn't gonna end the way he think it is. Kenjaku is planning something big. That's why he's preparing by gathering strong allies. But Megumi ain't want to hear none of that shit. Let's box. Some other dude busts out the room. Megumi dove into the shadows, picked him up, and threw his ass off the side. Now, I'm pretty sure Reggie is like physically enhanced because I refuse to believe 2 kitchen knives just put down your demon dog. So we're just gonna go with that. Then a random eyeball falls down, exploding. Through a few teeth, those explode too. Luckily, he got into a room on time and Shorty needs to just stop. Go sit down somewhere. You're not who you think you are. Those dudes out there do not care about your well-being whatsoever. This guy comes back, kicks Megumi down, summoned his frog on both sides, gave that man a face full of meat. So he spawns the elephant frog.
Oh shit. I'm sorry. This for me is wild, bro. Like, hey, yo.
On both sides, gave that man a face full of meat. So he spawns the elephant, knocks him out the window, met him on the way down, smacking him with the back of the blade, walked him down, and just murked him. He must have got fed up. He was telling himself, damn, I gotta chill. but there's still 2 more he gotta face. When all of a sudden a half-naked man came to his rescue. Everyone on the field was so baffled, just had to sit there in silence for a second, didn't know what was going on. Not only does he land a perfect drop kick, but right after he hits the 1,000 years of death Shadow Kakashi. So he'll handle that dude while Megumi handles Reggie.
They gave him a prostate jutsu. The prostate jutsu.
And 85% of this was Reggie just running. All that big talk just to be showing your ass the whole fight. Now remember, he can kind of heal himself. He pulled out a 2-day hot spring receipt and was back to full health. Megumi saw that, said hell nah, just up and left. He wasn't just running away though. He lured him aside this gym. Now, if this was a regular domain expansion, Reggie would have been fine. You can use a simple domain to counter the guaranteed hit factor that comes with a complete domain, but Megumi's isn't a complete domain. His doesn't have the guaranteed hit. What his does is amplify his curse energy to more than his max potential. He was out there using 120%. Man strung him up and started using him like a punching bag. Brought out his shadow clones and turned this into Naruto for real. I don't even know what's going on. I just know it hurts. I know Reggie is losing, getting juggled to every corner of that gym. Thing is, Reggie realizes the floor of the domain is Megumi's shadow. So he took a gamble to see if the weight in his shadow affects Megumi himself, and he was right. Bro spawned in 3 cars. His knees buckled immediately. But look up, big bro. There's a shadow on the roof too. Dropped a whole elephant on his ass. He falls into his shadow. At first it looked like it was over. There's no air in there, nothing to grab on, just sinking. Though those cars he dropped earlier came in clutch. He was able to command one of them to rise him to the top. That's when he pulls out an entire house. What other situation would this be useful? This guy was made specifically to counter Megumi. I can't see any other situation where spawning a house would aid you. If he fought damn near any other character, this would have done nothing. Gojo, Hollow Purple, Sukuna, Slash, Yuta, Rika, Maki would have just moved out the way. Toto, switch places. Yuji,
Probably would have jumped through the window, hop over the couch, swing off the chandelier, land in the kitchen, make himself some eggs, and then do 3 backflips out the front door.
that nigga be doing the most. Anyways, all of a sudden, Reggie is underwater getting choked out. The cars still being in Megumi's shadow was weighing him down, so he was forced to dismiss it. They both came to the top. Neither one can use their techniques. They said, you know what we gotta do, right? Weave, sidekick, blocks the elbow. Them little weak ass kicks, bitch. Yeah, I lied. You've been jumping me all day. Ain't no fair ones. And just like that, Reggie was defeated. Also decided to give Megumi his points too. Right after he went to go hunt down that girl, but he heard his sister's voice in his head, telling him not to do it. So he didn't. After he passes out, and that's when Angel finally shows herself. Meanwhile, back to Takaba, he is deadass trolling. His curse technique is called Comedian. Whatever he finds funny becomes reality. So in theory, if he thought beating up Gojo would be funny, he could do it. But we finally see what it's like where Yuta is at, and my goodness. This area makes the other area look like sunshine and rainbows. Straight demons occupy this place. The sky is tinted red. Nothing but agony and despair resides here. But Yuta's here to clean up. Took down one of the heavy hitters in the outro scene. So Yuta is currently helping regular civilians get to the edge of the barrier so they can escape. My question is though, did they not get the same offer as other people? Did Kenjaku only give specific people the choice to leave or not? Is it like a curse energy thing, like you gotta have a certain amount for him to even care? Y'all let me know. But all of a sudden, we see 2 dudes running from a tsunami of roaches. He tries to save them, but yeah, it was nothing he could do. This was another one of the heavy hitters in his colony. And honestly, Yuta cooked this dude. Instant chopped off his arm. Made sure he couldn't get it back. Hit him to the other side, grabs his sword. He really did that just to flex, to be honest. Could have kept the sword in his hand and do the exact same thing he just did. So since this is a cursed spirit and not a sorcerer, all he has to do is fire positive energy into it, but Yuta knows he's being watched and doesn't want to give away that he can use reverse curse technique. And look how he waited for it to get close to do something about it. He's clip farming. Slices the 2 bugs behind him, ends up making him close his eyes. Can't say it blinded him because clearly he can see perfectly fine. Thing is though, some creatures spawn out of his shoulder, messing up his swing, getting him a sword to the gut. So the way Yuta won this is by giving him a smooch. So in my head, I'm like, oh,
Great, he hid the fact that he can use reverse curse technique.
no, not at all. Before he can even catch his breath, some lady whispers in his ear, then proceeds to send him flying through 14 different structures. Runs up on him, Yuta turns into Luffy, and once again sends him flying. So this lady's technique
Nigga hit it with a gum gum gum. Maganda.
allows her to bend the sky to her will. She can warp the space around her, and I swear, characters with powers like this always choose to be butt-ass naked. I don't understand. Like, yeah, you're wrapping the space around your body so nothing is showing, but is that really easier than putting on some pants? Anyway, she tackles him out the building, choking him out in the sky when someone else fires an entire beam. Mind you, these are the 3 heaviest hitters with the sights set out for each other. Yuta immediately makes his way to Ishigori, dodging all these blasts, and my favorite part about JJK is that people have all these crazy abilities, but boxing is their main way of fighting. So Yuta and Ishigori had a little convo, and pretty much what was said is that Ishigori didn't feel completely satisfied with his life. He was craving something more, something sweet. Blasted Yuta to another building, came from the top rope straight through the ceiling, got him into a headlock, but he shoots the laser, flew up the side, grabbed the belly, suplexed his ass. Insane recovery, he grabs the ankles, threw that boy out the window. On his way out, grabs the clothesline. I love when shows use the environment in fights. Did he land a single hit with it? No, but I'm glad he tried. Ishigori lures him into a tunnel. Yuta knew exactly what he was going to do and still ran straight forward, blocking all the beams, ran around the walls, kicked him up. Before he can even see where he was shooting at, Yuta had his fist straight down the barrel. Not gonna lie, he does get sent flying, and Shorty was just up there in the air waiting, I guess. Ishigori might be the first person in this entire show that doesn't condone jumping. He was heated when she stepped in. I also wish they told us how some of these people died in their first life, because her technique looks broken. She can redirect attacks by warping the sky like, yo, but considering his situation, he gotta pull out his trump card. This ring allows him to fully manifest Rika. The duration is 5 minutes, so within that time he can use stored curse techniques as well as Rika's curse energy. So then she proceeds to equip him with a super arm of some sort. Rika goes for Euro, and since he can use stored curse techniques now, he stops her using curse speech, started unloading a barrage of fists, and bro really doesn't like jumping. He saw them doing her like that, doing her bad. He had to step in. And look at what she proceeds to do. Grabs the ground and whipped everything up like she was making her bed. You telling me the devs seen this and thought it was okay to put it in the game? Her build needs to be nerfed. How did she lose? Who killed her in her past life? And then right after, she grabs on everything. Now after she grabs on everything.
Everything.
Now the coolest part of this episode is when all 3 of them pop their domain expansions. When I tell you, I sat up straight, and then this ugly ass roach had to come in and ruin it all. You interrupted just so your trash ass can get kicked out of the game in 7 seconds. Both you and Euro got blasted by the cannon. Then Yuta slaps his hand on your forehead, murking you again. Straight buns. So the last 2 standing, they both put up their hands, intending for this to be the final attack. Initially, Yuta was gonna shoot him before he can fully charge it, but he looked at bro and said, fuck it, let's go all out. Once the intro music started playing, I knew this was episode of the year. Yuta is the real MC. Get Yuji out of here. The first blast Ishigori won, so he had Rika shoot another one while he comes from the side. He copied Euro's technique, sending that blast into the sky. Him and Rika were about to hit the filthiest combo of all time, but unfortunately, that timer ran out. No Rika means no copy techniques. Both of them exhausted, so you know what they do? They box it out. No blocking, no defense, just straight hit, straight damage. That's until Yuta grabs him. Defense, just straight hit, straight damage.
Dragon Ball reference.
That's until Yuta grabs him, and the blast he sent to the sky a second ago, it was on purpose. He held him down and the blast landed directly on him. Yeah, that's all I needed to see. Give Yuta more screen time. We don't need Yuji. But he decides not to kill them. Instead of killing them, he told them to transfer their points to him. And that's exactly what they did. And yeah, it just ends like that. Euro had a quick little 30-second segment to glaze Sukuna, but we'll be here for next season. Now we gotta wait who knows how long for part 2, but you know, I'm here for it.
Yeah, that was unfortunate that series ended, but I'm here for it for her too. I hope they making it soon, man. So, hope you enjoyed this vid. WV for the I'm Kevin, and I hope you enjoyed the vid. Peace in the Middle East.